our next Pecha Kucha speaker, Joyce Bassey. So Joyce is a CMC. She is specialized in financial planning and analysis, business process improvements, and business transformation. She's a chartered accountant with over 15 years of experience in business management consulting, energy, transportation, telecoms, and banking, with an MBA from Metropolitan School of Business and Management in the UK. And Joyce enjoys working with startups and mid-tier companies, mentoring and supporting them to develop structures and re-engineer existing processes. So go ahead, Joyce.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Nice to have you all here. So I'm just going to take it up from where John spoke. We're talking about reinventing a new you. What does that even mean? Now, can you imagine if you had to make bread? So you have the flour, you're mixing it, you add water, you add yeast. But is that all? You have to knead, you have to mold, you have to try to shape the dough. But then, what does it really mean in terms of you? Can you reinvent a new you? Can you mold yourself? Does it mean you have to change from your old way of life and move on to a new type of life? Well, something really happened that made this idea of reinventing yourself very critical. December 2019, COVID struck. And right from China, it spread across the whole world. Everything came to a standstill. Schools closed, offices closed, even no one could go on vacation because the airlines and transportation system were down. So what happened? Did everything just take a ground? Of course not. These businesses stood up. They did something. They had to face the challenge, either to adapt or die. And adapt they did. They adopted all sorts of invention, they innovated, and they changed. They transformed themselves from one position to another. So people moved from remote work and then gradually to hybrid work. And then now some offices are fully on site. Schools reopened, schools adopted new technologies, the airlines and transportation system opened, and everything went back to normal. Now, what about you as a person? What did COVID do to you? That disruption, what did it do to you? Did it change you? Did you just cross over, like walk from this bad state to a new state? Or did it make you a better person? Did you even have time to reflect about this? Well, would you want to try to think of why you need to reinvent yourself? If schools could reopen, businesses could readjust, then we as a person, you as a person, can go back to that bread ideology, try to remold yourself and come out better than you were pre-COVID, because this is now post-COVID. So do you think it's time to reinvent yourself at this time? How do you do that? Well, the first thing is to re-x-ray yourself, like take a microscope, re-examine yourself. How can I improve myself? Imagine if you still had the dough and you had to mold it into a better form. What better form would you want to be? A better parent, a better student, a better employer, a better employee? Would you even want to be a better sports person? Well, we start by making dreams. Dream big, like they say. When you dream big, you can achieve bigger goals. So you take up a pen, write it down. What I want to achieve, does it make me feel better? Just imagining it, does it give me a good feeling? If it does, then it's a worthwhile goal. And what are some of those goals? Maybe you want to further educate yourself, pursue an MBA, get a degree. You want to have a healthier life. You want to improve your love life, improve your career. Maybe you want to make more money. It could be any goal. You could even want to learn to play the piano. It could be just anything. Set the goal. Write it down. Prioritize the goal. Set smart, achievable goals. It should be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. And not only that, you now set a timeline. So with a timeline, you're able to say, I'm starting, for example, in January or in February. By August, this is where I should have gotten to. By February, you now do a retrospective of what you had initially set to achieve. So you can look at it and say, okay, I've achieved 60%. Celebrate your wins, for Christ's sake, when you achieve your goals. And when you do not, you don't need to throw yourself away or condemn yourself. is all about nurturing. When you plant a seed, you water it, it grows. Imagine yourself as that plant. You keep nurturing, keep investing in yourself, keep improving so that you continue to grow. And as you grow, you will find out that you get better. You go back to your goals and see your progress. You self-evaluate. Remember your big dreams? They were big. Like John said, they could be your, what you have as your alter ego, dreams that you thought could not be achieved. But as you move step by step, you see that these goals could be achieved. With the one you cannot achieve, you move it forward. And of course, you may not always achieve everything. Sometimes there are failures. But what happens when you fail? You can't overbeat yourself or throw yourself away. Remember the bread? You keep doing what? You keep kneading. You keep molding. You keep adjusting. It could be too slack. It could be dense. It could be whatever. And remember, the whole essence of it is for you to achieve your original set goals. So like wheels in a bigger circle, you continue to improve. When you achieve it, you are all happy. You get better. You could have just graduated from a program you decided to do. Whatever you do, remember that the model is just for you to follow. The reinvent model, I put something on the slide, you can look at it, is just about innovating, visualizing your growth, establishing an action plan, nurturing your growth, if you remember, and then following a timeline. With that timeline, you can never go wrong. So if you don't achieve it, you go back to the drawing board. And why are we doing all of this? Why do you even want to reinvent yourself? Why bother? Because it has benefits, and those benefits, one, creates a stronger work ethic. Imagine if everybody in your work environment is improving themselves. It's going to make life a lot better. You have a greater self-awareness. You feel better with yourself. You have a great self-fulfillment. You're self-motivated, and ultimately it creates a better you. You become a better friend, a better parent, a better student. You move from I can't do to I can do. And when you become a better person, you find out that it was worth it in the first place. So the question is, would you take the chance to try and change and move from good to better and best? It's all about self-improvements. I trust you will. I really believe you will. And if you need help, you can contact me. I have my email there. My job is to continue to improve processes. And I believe as I improve business processes, we as humans can also keep improving. Thank you for listening.
Joyce, thank you so much for that. I want to just get up and cheer and clap. That was so uplifting and just so, that was really great. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening.
And thank you for those really interesting points about nurturing the change and planting those seeds. I like your bread analogy, and setting the timeline and not being afraid to come back to it if it didn't go at first how it originally went. I wonder, do you have any examples of where you yourself or maybe a client or someone you've helped has been able to reinvent themselves?
Oh, sure. So I particularly have this experience of a woman. She had come to me. She had never worked all her life. And unfortunately, she lost her husband. And she just didn't know where to start from. It was like, I haven't been in school. I haven't done anything. So it was all about, first of all, you know what? Just take a note. Continue to write down your dreams. What did you dream as a child? It was amazing. She came up with so much, and we started taking it one by one. This particular goal, can we set a timeline? Can we set a timeline? And that exactly was what she did. And interestingly, she was able to set up a business and run it successfully. So that's actually, for me, is a source of inspiration, that if somebody who came with zero idea can move from zero idea to believing in themselves. So it's a step-by-step process, believing in themselves that they can do it, then moving from actually doing it and then getting the results, then anybody can actually try and be better.
Yeah, thank you. And I love that idea that you mentioned too about the little incremental change, just one little action, one goal, and then moving from there.
Yeah. The truth is, if you make such a big goal, right, and you're unable to achieve it, it's like you find yourself so minute compared to your goal if it's too big. But when you set it up, you form like follow the SMART principle, make it very specific, measurable, achievable, right? So just follow it step by step like that, then it can become realistic, and then you take it one step at a time. You know.
Are there any other tools you recommend besides the SMART framework to help guide this change?
In addition to the SMART framework, peer review, like one of the participants mentioned, sometimes we need another person to actually check on us. Personally, I do a lot of personality tests, okay, junk tests, there are a whole lot of them. Sometimes we see ourselves in a different way and others see us differently. But when we actually sit down and take an objective viewpoint, we see, oh, okay, so this is how I really am. For example, I did one junk test, one personality test rather, and then the test results came and said, I was very judgmental. I was shocked. Like, what? So it helped me to know that I needed to work on that. So that's another way to help us by asking from others, by doing personality tests. The tests don't know you, and then you're answering questions all by yourself with, nobody is there to criticize, but the end result helps us to know exactly who we are, and then it can help us to know what we need to do and how we can to get a better version of ourselves.
Thank you. Yeah, those are great tools for introspection work.